not done one of these standing up for, so I might be too tall. I might not even be in focus. In fact, right now you might just be staring at my boobs. Hi guys, welcome back. Yes, I'm stood up in a little bit of a different setting. We're doing something a little bit different today. We're not necessarily talking about makeup and beauty products. We're talking about books. In particular, or to be more precise, we are talking about some of my favourite blogger or YouTubers non-fiction books that they've brought out, and also ones that I've purchased that I'm not necessarily that much of a fan of. So it's just going to be my hits or misses of bloggers' non-fiction books. There are a lot of these on the market, and obviously I do not have all of them. I have a select few. And what I do want to say is that the reason I have these ones is generally because I'm a fan of the blogger or the YouTuber, the content that they create, and I like them and I respect them. So if I do say something today that's along the lines of I'm not the biggest fan of this book, it does not mean that I am not the biggest fan of that particular person and what they do online, because I wouldn't have bought these books if I wasn't. It's just that whatever this book is, or the content, is not necessarily my cup of tea. So yes, we're going to go through my favourites. We're going to go through the ones that I think you could probably give a miss, ones that weren't my personal favourites, and we will go through those. As I said, I don't have like all of them because that would be ridiculous, but I do have some, and I wanted to share my thoughts as I've picked up a few of them lately actually, and they do seem to be coming out with more and more. And I know loads of people moan about this and they're like, God, it's such a cliche for a blogger to come out with a book, but that's what a blogger does. Like, they produce and write content. That's their job. That's what they got big doing. So it's just like, for me, it's just the next logical step to do a book. So I don't really understand why people are surprised when this happens. But anyway, that's a whole other side note. If you do like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, I'm going to stop rambling and I'm actually going to talk about some of these books. They are literally just in like height order right now, so we'll go with that. So in height order, I'm just going to go through them and say what I thought what they're about, what I thought about them, what I liked, what I didn't like, whether or not I would recommend them. Basically it. So the first one, the tallest one, is one of the Tanya Burr books, and it's actually her latest one. I do have all three here, so I have Love Tanya, Tanya Bakes and Tanya's Christmas. This one I picked up before Christmas last year, funnily enough. Not the Christmas just gone, the one before. I do like this. I feel like there are some really good, useful things in here. There's some chapters in here that I'm really not that bothered about, but some of the things that I do really like is some of like the recipes and like some of the craft stuff. So I'm trying to find like the contents now. So yeah, it's got like kind of other things that, like, where she kind of talks about her Christmases and stuff like that, which like I get. Fair enough, but it's stuff that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not that bothered about. But the recipes in here are really, really good. There is one specific cake, this one, just has flour and stuff all over it, which is the white chocolate winter wonderland cake, which I've made so many times for different events and people love this cake. It is such a good cake. I love it. So that recipe is amazing. The other recipes in here as well are really, really good. And there's been a couple of crafty bits that I have done in here somewhere. Like the gifting section I wasn't really that bothered about, Secret Santa section like near. DIY wrapping paper again wasn't really bothered about, or like the party bits. Apart from the recipes, which look awesome. But there was, where is this thing? Oh yeah, and there's some like beauty sections in here, which again I like wasn't massively bothered about, but I appreciated them. Okay, there is something in here where you make like your own advent calendar stocking wreath thing. It is in there. I promise it's in there because it's where I got it from. And I did make that as well, and like it was really easy to do. So there are some good things in here. It is not an essential. I think out of all of her books, Tanya Bakes is definitely my favourite, and I think what I use this more for is the recipes than anything else. So I think in terms of recipes it's good. The rest of it I'm not too bothered about. That's just me personally. Obviously if you're a big Christmas fan, you like your arts and crafts, you do a lot of hosting, then you'll probably really, really like this for Christmas time. But otherwise, like, I mainly just use it for the recipes, so it's one of those like hit and miss ones, but I do like it. And then kind of along the same vein, we do have Zoe Suggs' Cordially Invited, which was released end of last year, and I picked it up in the beginning of January because I actually wanted it for Christmas, but no one got it for me. And this is one of those books that is absolutely not an essential. and I think it's only going to be, you're only going to really like it if you like hosting and you like doing all of that kind of things. You love having people around, you love making a big fuss, and everything like that. And I do quite like hosting, and there are some like great tips and stuff in here. Again, there are some really good recipes that I'm really looking forward to trying. I really like she's got seasonal to-do lists in here as well, which I do also really like. And it's a beautiful book, like it's stunning in here, it's so pretty. There's some like random stuff in here that I'm a bit like, nah, not that like bothered about. But the recipes look really, really good. Like a summer herb garden I'm not really fussed about because I kill plants. But as I said, and the arts and crafts stuff is nice, not necessarily my cup of tea, but if you do like your arts and crafts, then there's some good ones in here. But like I said, if you're not like a host or a hostess, it's not your cup of tea, it's not your favourite thing to do, then this probably isn't going to be the book for you. But if you do like hosting and you love having people around and you love kind of going on like days out and like making the most of each like holiday and season, then this is a really, really good book to get. I do really like it, I think it's a nice one, so I'm really glad. That's the mix between pleased and glad, by the way. I'm really glad that I do have it, but as I said, if you're not into hosting, then this is just not, it's going to be a little bit surplus to you. Though to be honest, there's still some like really nice recipes in here that you can still try without hosting, but like the whole premise of the book is to be like a hostess and everything, so you've got to kind of choose what you want with that one. But I do really like it, I think it's a good book. And then we have the other two Tanya Bear books. So we have her first one, which is Love Tanya. This for me is a bit of a miss, just because I got it because I'm a big fan of Tanya Bear. Like I do like her, I like follow her channel and like her blog and everything. Not that she's done much on there recently, because obviously she's doing other things with like acting and bits and bobs like that, which is fair enough. But for me, this is just like a little bit random. Not a lot of it was really relevant, I guess, for me. There's like a little section on beauty. There's like a whole history of her. There's some recipes in here which are nice, but then they're also like in her Tanya Bakes book. So if you want it for recipes, then just get Tanya Bakes instead. And there's like, yeah, there's just some like kind of randomish sections. I think this was mainly just like a combination of everything she would like necessarily blog about, which is fair enough. And I think if you are a Tanya Bear fan and you love her, then you'll like it. But I think everybody else, it will just be a little bit of a random mismatch. It'll be a random mismatch. I mean, even though I like Tanya Bear, I am a fan. I'm not like, I'm not really bothered by most of this book. So for me, that's a bit of a miss. It's not one I would like say you need. But if you do get any one of the Tanya Bear books, my absolute recommendation would be Tanya Bakes, which is her recipe book. I love this. I ended up with about 3 copies of this at one point. Anyway, so I ended up with like 3 of these. But I really, really like this for baking. If I ever want to try something I haven't like done before, or I'm looking for like recipes for different occasions and things, this is usually one of my first port of calls, just because the recipes in here are so easy to follow. Like they're generally very successful. I can get like a lot of success out of them. Whereas like I've got like all the bake-off books as well, but a lot of the time they're a bit more complicated, and I don't have a huge success rate with trying to replicate the recipes. Whereas this is a good one to follow. It's really good. My husband even did like the lemon drizzle loaf from here, and he never bakes, and it was amazing. Like everybody was very, very shocked at how good that was. So for me, out of all of her books, this would be the one I would suggest and say to get. Obviously if you don't like baking, then it wouldn't be your cup of tea, but it's a really, really good one. I love the recipes in here. I think they're great. I've tried so many of them. So many people like them when I do this. I've done them multiple times as well. This is like one of my can't live without baking books, to be honest. I think if I ever lost this, I would be so upset. I'd be lost. I'd be lost in a sea of flour and icing sugar and not knowing what to do with myself. But I do really like this. This is definitely a hit for me. It's probably one of the ones that I've used most, or read most. Actually, it's probably the most read one, or the most used out of these. Okay, we come to another kind of oldie, and this is from Fleur de Force, and it's her book, The Glam Guide. I think this came out in like 2015 or something like that. It was a long time ago. And again, this is a little bit in terms of like the first like Tanya Bear book, where there's kind of a whole mismatch of content in here. There's a lot of like makeup and hair and beauty, which It's one of the main reasons I got it, because she is very good for like her beauty advice and her hair, and you can see like there's lots of stuff on like makeup and like how to apply, like the things you need, skincare. And it's what I really liked about it is that there's some like proper, when you've got your skincare, you've got like what ingredients to look out for and what they help, which I think is great. And some hairstyles, which I can never replicate, but is also obviously very handy. Colouring, how to do different styles, and like fashion. And this is one of my favourite sections, is like wardrobe essentials pieces. So it's like the top things that you need in your wardrobe. But the rest of it, to be honest, is not really like my cup of tea. It's things like travel, which, I mean, to be honest, I don't really need somebody to tell me how to travel or pack and stuff like that, like how to beat jet lag. There's like health and fitness and stuff, which like I know some people are going to be really like into, and fitness and things. And then there's other stuff like looking after your body image and relationships. So for me, like half the book I'm really into, half of it I'm really not that bothered about. So it's kind of one of those, it's another one where I think if you're a big Fleur fan, you'll love it. For me, it's like, I don't necessarily need it, because like the makeup, fashion and hair stuff I can get from like other books that I have. So on this side I've got this one here, which is a really old one, but it's the Lauren Conrad beauty book, which I've had for years and years and years. It's got so much crap on it, but I love it. And for me, like if I'm looking at like getting any beauty tips and stuff, I tend to go for this rather than going to the Fleur one. So for me, it's not an essential. You don't need it. If you're a fan of Fleur, then to be honest, you've probably already got it. But if you are a fan of her, then like this will probably be for you. For me, it's just not, I'm not really bothered about it, to be honest. God, I feel like there's a lot of like negativity. It's okay. We're getting a bit more positive now with this, which is the newest one to the collection. And I think it's the newest one out of all of these that has come out, and it is An Edited Life by Anna Newton, also known as the book that is changing my life. And I'm not even exaggerating. I have read this cover to cover very, very quickly, which for me with a non-fiction book is saying something. Usually I'm not hugely into non-fiction, and I'll like skip to certain chapters that I want to like know more about. This one, I've read it all a couple of times now, and excuse me, I love it. It is really making me look at how I like organise things in my life, not only in my life but like in my wardrobe. I've already done myself a capsule wardrobe downstairs and sorted that out into like now and summer. This kind of prompted me to properly sort out this room and kind of sort that out, and then other things in terms of like finances and life. It's just such a good book, and I think it came out at the perfect time, like beginning of a new year. People have like resolutions in place. People have like new resolutions in place, and this is just perfect. I swear it's changing my life in terms of organisation. For myself, it's helping me at work and like keeping me motivated and organised at work. It's like helping me in like my own home life. And yeah, I mean, it's, if you get any book that I talk about today, get this one, because it is incredible. And what I do like about this as well is she's just talking about stuff that she talks about on her blog or on her YouTube channel anyway, which to be fair, with the ones I've already spoken about, they do. So far, like all of these, I'm going to come on to one in a minute where it's not necessarily the case. So I love that this is just like, it's an extension of her blog on her YouTube, but it's not a replication. So it's not like, okay, I'm paying out for something that you've already told me like on the blog. It's a bit more of like an extension of that. It's in more detail. It's a lot more helpful. I flipping love this book. It is changing my life, and it is probably my favourite out of all of them. It's incredible, and it lives by my bedside table, because where else is a life-changing book gonna live? If I could have like 3 copies of this and have one in my office, one in my bedroom, and one downstairs in the lounge, that would be amazing, but that's excessive. So yeah, I really love this. I would highly recommend it to anybody that maybe needs some little like help with like motivation or organisation, just wants to kind of sort their life out, or even like sorting the house, like the home out, finances. Just if you need a way to kind of like streamline things, this is a really, really good one. I love it. I also love like all the design. I think it's so cute. Yeah, that's my favourite. That would be like my, if you get any book that I talk about today, get this one recommendation, because it's incredible. Before I talk about this one, what I do want to say is, the blogger who wrote this, I really like. I like her content, I watch her videos, I read her blog, I have done for years. And when this originally came out, I was umming and ahhing about whether to get it. I have recently picked it up because I was like, no, I want to read it, I want to give it a go. And I'm just not disappointed by it, but it's just really not my cup of tea. It is not my kind of book. It's probably my least favourite out of all of these. Unfortunately, it is The F Word by Lily Pebbles. I love Lily Pebbles. I think she's great. I love her content. It's a book about female friendship, which I love the premise of. I love the idea about it. For me, it reads a little bit like a dissertation maybe, or something like that. I don't really know. It's just, I kind of got like a few pages in, I was like, meh. I didn't really want to read anymore. So then I was like jumping to chapters, and I'd go through a chapter and be like, meh. And it's not that it's not written well, it's just that it's not really my kind of thing. So for me, it is a bit of a miss. And I just found it a little bit random because I don't really recall seeing much about like this type of thing on her blog or on her channel really. I think more so since she's like launched the book or when she was going to do the book. But like, I mean, I followed her for a number of years now, and this just seemed like a little bit of a random choice to me. But like I said, it's not badly written, and I think some people will love it, and I know a lot of people do love it because I've seen like good reviews on it. For me, it's just not my cup of tea. It would be like the one that I would kind of miss out of all of the ones I'm talking about today. I love like the design. The design is really cool. I like that. But yeah, it's just a shame because I do love Lily Pebbles. It's just not my kind of a book, unfortunately. So that one's a bit of a shame. But yeah, if you want to know more about female friendships and read about that, then definitely pick this up. But as I said, it's not my favourite. And last but not least, we have this. This is also one of my favourites. It's The New Fashion Rules by Victoria McGrath, who does In the Fro. This is very much a fashion book. So if you're not that bothered about fashion or style, then obviously this isn't going to be for you. I'm not like, I don't follow like runway shows, or I don't read Vogue or anything like that. I do follow Victoria like In the Fro, and like her style is insane, it's impeccable. But I was just really intrigued by this book and reading about it, and it's really interesting. It's definitely not one of those books where it's going to be like, here's like what the trends are going to be for like the next month, or like these are the things that you need in your wardrobe, or how to do a capsule. It's not really anything like that. There's a lot more behind it. It's a lot more intellectual, and she does have a PhD, and you can definitely kind of tell that from here, which sounds really weird, but you can. It's written very, very well. The topics in here are, they are just really thought-provoking. It's things about like how online shopping is changing like the fashion game, and how like bloggers are changing it. There's things on like death of the high street, being social, like being culturally aware. So like it's got a bit on Time's Up and like inclusivity and diversity fair, how to like adopt things, and like there's lots and lots of things that you wouldn't kind of necessarily be like, oh, I getcha. Yeah, it's got stuff like how retail's moving on to mobile apps, everything like that. So it's definitely more of a kind of intellectual fashion book than one that's going to be like, here's how to do these styles. I have a similar, I do have a fashion book. This is by Eric DeMann, who's the costume designer for Gossip Girl. Pretty much the reason I got this book. And it's good, but it is very much like, here's how to wear this is what you need, these should be your luxury purchases, all of that kind of thing. Whereas, so if you want something that's a bit more like that, then I do recommend that one, because this is a good one. But if you want like something a little bit more thought-provoking around fashion and everything, then this is a really, really good one. I do really enjoy it, and I was kind of like surprised by it, but happily so. And I do really like it, and yeah, it's a good one, so it's one of my faves. Okay, and that is everything. So yeah, it was a little bit different. I hope you don't mind. I'm kind of like trying different things other than like beauty and stuff. Let me know if you like this video, which of these is your favourite. Is there another book that's like written by a blogger that you think I should try, that's like non-fiction? Obviously these are all non-fiction. I haven't included any fiction ones such as like Girl Online or Wild Like Me, or any of those ones. But let me know if there's any like other non-fiction ones you think I should try that I will like. I'd love to like get your recommendations, because I know there's lots more out there. But yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Friday we will be back with a normal kind of beauty makeup kind of thing. And yeah, I will see you all again very soon. Bye.